All right, welcome back. Okay, here what we're going to do is just orient you through Blackboard in this video, and we'll go through the exams. I think I might put that in a different video. We'll see how this lays out. Okay, so this is the home page. This is where you'll find pretty much everything you need and how it's broken down. It's broken down into 5 units. Right, and the units you could also access over here, right, in the sidebar menu. Everything you can access in this course can be accessed in this page or in the sidebar menu. Announcements after the next couple of days, I will make the home page the announcement page, so that way if I need to explain a change in the class, or if I need to if I just want to make sure you're on the right material for the course, the right unit for the course, that information will be there, right? The announcements. That's how it communicates mainly to each class member, is through announcements. If you ever have any technical problems, right, I sometimes can help because I have enough experience with Blackboard and I've gone through enough issues. But for most things, I don't know what's wrong with your computer. These people here, if you click this link right here, these people know, right? So contact them if you have any technical issues. If you have any content issues, contact me, of course. But if you have any technical issues, let me know about any problems that you might be having. Okay, this is where
you'll check your grades. So let me know after about a week or so if things aren't getting graded. If I might miss years. I usually grade things within a few days, if not that day. But if a week goes by and you notice an exam hasn't been graded, let me know. Contact information right here brings you to my website. I prefer this email address. So do email me here. If I don't get back to you within 24 hours, something went wrong, right? I either didn't get your email, or I meant to get back to you and I just didn't. That happens. Or your email was one of 50 emails I received that day and it just got lost. But my intention is never to ignore my students, so don't think you're being rude if within a day you just forward me what you sent to me originally, right? So yeah, give me a day, and I'll usually get back to you within a couple of hours. That's something I try to prioritize with students when they're taking my course. So just know that. Let's see. And then we already went over the syllabus, but it's right there. Print it out, have it handy somewhere so you can refer to it. It is the lifeline for the course. Okay, so the class is divided up by units. You want to start off with Unit 1. They're all organized pretty much in the same way, so let's take a look at this. The first thing you want to do now, as it says right there, is print the study guide. That will be helpful. In the study guide, it will have all of the identifications for that unit, and it will have the essay questions for that unit as well, right? Now, let me say a word about identifications. The explanation for the IDs is in the syllabus, and it's also at the bottom of this page right here. So let's just go through the identifications. What will happen is during the exam, a number of these, usually 5, will be randomly selected, right, from the test bank. So they're all important. It's not like one is more important than the other, so don't try to guess it that way. It's completely random how it gets selected. When it's selected, you will be expected to respond to that identification. What you want to do with the identifications is it's basically an opportunity for you to show off what it is you've learned about that term, right? That historical individual, that event, that law, whatever the case may be. You want to explain the pertinent information such as who, what, where, when, and how, right? Those kinds of things. You want to explain the historical significance, most important, right? Why does it matter? And sometimes that takes some going back to figure out the historical significance on some of these. So don't think you're going to get it right away. It's not going to spell it out with you within the lectures or in the text usually. It's something that you'll see how it connects with other identifications. So basically this means the historical definition that somewhere in your response you should establish historical context. So this is an online course. It's open note. So definitely write down as specific as possible dates, right? Not just sometime in the 19th century, but when in the 19th century, or when in the 18th century, or when in the 17th century. Give me at least a year when these things are happening. It's also important to show cause and effect within your identification, right? And so let's give you an example right here. Stono Rebellion, right? There's a documentary you need to watch to explain that. It's not, if you just simply tell me when it happened and some of the events that led up to it, you'll probably get a C on that. If you want an A, you want to talk about, well, what caused it, and then what was the results of Stono Rebellion, and maybe how did it connect to other identifications, right? How does the Stono Rebellion maybe connect with a concept called white identity, or even salutary neglect, or the Southern colonies, right? So ask yourself, I mean, it might not have a connection to other identifications, but it very well could. So see if you can make those connections. Let's see. The other thing, too, to keep in mind is that each identification should be at least 5 to 6 sentences, at least, right? Sometimes more, so it's at least one paragraph, 5 to 6 sentences, could be up to 2 paragraphs. So if you find yourself writing one sentence, you're probably not going to get a very good grade on it. And your sentence might be absolutely accurate, right? But you might be getting a 6.5 on it and a 7 out of a 10. To earn an 8 or a 9 or a 10, you want to make sure it's long enough and it includes all of these things that we just went over with your identification. So what I recommend doing with these identifications is immediately at least print out these terms right here. And then I would put some space, copy and paste and put it into another document and put some space. And then as you're going through the content of the course, and I'll show you where that is in just a little bit, as you come across information that tells you something about Jamestown, write that down. As you come across some information that explains about this term called salutary neglect, write that down, white identity, so on and so forth, okay? So that's how you use the study guides here. So make sure you print those out so you're prepared for the unit exams. Okay, so required reading for chapter 1, you'll click this. And there's 4 sections for chapter 1. You want to go through all of these. These are PDFs. So you click this, that all works the same way. Print this out and begin reading it. And how you get assessed for the required reading is mainly through the weekly quizzes, which I'll talk about in just a second here. So that's the first thing you'll want to do for the course. When you're done with that, then you'll be ready to get to the lectures. Now, keep in mind the due dates, right? October 25th is the first exam that you need to get something in. So that due date, so just keep that in mind about what today is and when this is due, right? So you don't want to wait till the last, definitely don't wait till the last moment in an online course for due dates. Don't do that because something will go wrong, right? The internet will crash on you, the power will go out, your kid will unplug the computer while you're trying to take an exam. Something like that will happen, right? So don't try to get it done within a day before any due date. What I would, before we get into the lectures, what I would do is, if I were you, is after reading all 4 of these, then you would be ready for the weekly quiz, which is going to be down here, right? The quizzes don't require you to take them through Lockdown Browser since it's just multiple choice, but it will have 50 multiple choice questions. You'll have 60 minutes to complete it. You could take it as many times as you need to. Unlimited attempts available for the quizzes. For the exams, that's not the case. But do note it records your average score, not your highest. So this prevents students from just, since you have unlimited amount attempts, this just prevents students from just going in and guessing until they get the right answer. But do know that you can check your quiz and it will tell you which ones you got wrong and what are the right answers. So take the quiz and then you can go back and you can correct for that, right? And do that because these questions will come up again during the unit exams. Part of the unit exams will require you to respond to some of the questions from your previous unit exams, your previous unit quizzes, right? So that's how I would approach this. Do this, and immediately while it's fresh in your head, jump down and do the quizzes. Okay, to get to the lectures, which is basically the real meat of this course, you'll click on the learning module for week 1. And the first one is Age of Expansion, and the second one is Development of Slavery in Virginia. So you want to have all of this done and prepared by before the 25th, right? And that's coming up soon. That's less than 5 days. So it's something you'll want to get done sooner rather than later. So today is Monday. You have to have it done by the 25th. Now, if you don't, remember there's a way of making this up. If your score for the unit exam is higher than your week 1 exam, the week 1 exam score will be brought up to that score. Okay, so we're ready to take, for the first lecture. It brings you to the course website. Now this, pay attention to this because for some reason students refuse to see how easy this actually is. I'm giving you the answers to the essay questions, so there's no research involved. You just have to go through the material and you will have the answers, right? Here's the essay prompt. This is what will appear during the exams, this essay prompt. Okay? Discuss the age of expansion and conquest and its various stages of development. In your discussion, give examples of each phase of its development and show what the motivating forces were that finally induced England into colonization. Now, to prepare for that, you go through what are called the learning objectives. The learning objectives, this will be a orientation exam question, right? The learning objectives are the outline to the essay prompt. The learning objectives are the outline to the essay prompt. They are the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Each learning objective, when you respond to the learning objective, should give you 1 to maybe 3 paragraphs of material. A paragraph, again, is 5 to 6 sentences, generally speaking, right? So what I suggest you do is get a notebook for this course and physically write down that learning objective so you know what it is you need to respond to when you're taking notes on this particular lecture. So you go through that lecture, and at the end of that lecture, you should have enough information to respond to that learning objective right there, so on and so forth. For this particular learning objective, you'll notice that this one has assigned reading to it and a video. So you'll want to watch that video and go through this reading to respond to this particular learning objective. And for this learning objective, you'll just go through this video. Note that most, not all, but most lectures come with notes and a PowerPoint. So use those to take notes on, to expand your notes. Now, let's just open up the notes. A lot of the information for those lectures is right here in that notes, not all of them. So what I suggest you doing is using both. Don't just rely either on this one or the videos. There's some information that you can use in the notes, and there's some information in the videos that's not there that you can use. So if you're intending to earn a B or an A in this course, you want to use both. whenever possible. How will you know your essay is complete? All of the learning objectives will be included in your essay. Let's repeat that. How will you know your essay is complete? All of the learning objectives will be included in your response to the essay prompt, right? So learning objective for this one, learning objective 1, 2, and 3. That will be when you're done with that, that will be your response. Okay, so when you're done with the age of expansion, you just move on to the next one, which is the development of slavery in Virginia. This one's a little bit longer. This one requires you to write a 6 to 10 paragraph essay because there's just more content involved. This is a biggie, so really do develop this one as much as possible. So most of them do come with a video, so as this one does. Be aware of this. Sometimes there's a part 1 and a part 2. Yes, you have to look at both of those to fully be able to respond to this learning objective. So just be aware of that. Learning objective 4 requires you to watch this documentary, so be sure to watch that documentary. And learning objective 5 requires you to read through this packet here as best you can to respond to this particular essay question, right? Okay, so when you're done with that, you will be ready to take the week 1 exam, right? And so the week 1 exam, as it states, one of the essays from this week will be randomly selected, so you're either going to respond to this one or this one by October 25th, right? And when you're done with that, if you get done sooner, by all means get done sooner, because when you're done with that, you can move on to week 2. So week 2 is right here. It has the colonies doesn't have an essay located, just associated with it. There's no essay prompt associated with it. It will help you respond to a lot of those identifications. So please go through that material, print that material out, and it will help you respond to a lot of those identifications from the study guide. Salutary neglect, however, does have an essay prompt, so do prepare for that. And the only thing that you will do for this week 2 exam is to respond to salutary neglect. When you're done with that, if you have not taken the quiz by this date, take the quiz. It's due October 31st. But when you're ready, when you're done with that and you've gone through the lectures and you've taken both the weekly exams, then you will be ready to take Unit 1 exam, right? And always the structure will be laid out right here. You'll have 25 multiple choice questions right from this quiz right here. So it really pays to go back and to check your answers. So you will have that prepared for the quiz coming up. There's no reason to get these quizzes are just to make sure you're paying attention to dates and to individuals and whatnot from the readings. There will be 5 identifications randomly selected from the study guide, so have those responses ready to go before you click begin on this. And one of the essays will be randomly selected from the Unit 1 lecture essay. You'll have a 3-hour time limit, and it expires November 2nd. Right? So no extensions on the deadline. If you happen to miss this date or you're not particularly ready, again, Unit 2 exam will take its place minus 10%. You can also navigate, when this is opened up for you, you can also navigate through these windows here as well, through the material. It's up to you, whichever seems most logical to you. There's the quizzes. There's the weekly exams, and there's the unit exams. They're all laid out there. And again, for these two right here, the weekly exams and the unit exams, you have to do them through Lockdown Browser, including taking the orientation exam. I believe that's it. We'll call it a day with the orientation right there, just 2 videos. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns by emailing me, and I'll talk to you guys later.